I think we've heard from many sessions so far that technology itself plays a very critical role in enabling this transition to take place. It's a multiplier, it's a catalyst for change, and it will enable many of the different changes that we are looking for to make a big difference in our goals for cleaner, more affordable, and more resilient energy future.
So we see that there will be a very rapid transition with a very fast ramp up over the next decade in solar, in wind, in energy storage. But that transition is not fast enough to meet the target temperature rise set out under the Paris Accords. However, we see that there is existing technology which can meet that target. It can deliver a temperature rise of 1.5 degrees C. But we need policy in place to enable that technology to deliver. Another of our outcomes is that we see that global energy use will peak by 2030 due to a large ramp up in energy efficiency. And then perhaps a very important aspect is that we see that the transition will be affordable. Because although there will be large investments in infrastructure, in new renewable generation plants, in transmission and distribution networks to enable that renewable plant to be integrated in the grid, in fact, a smaller share of GDP will be spent on energy in the coming decades than has been spent in the past.
In transportation, there's going to be a lot more competition from other fuels. In cars, we can see it in electric vehicles. In shipping, LNG is going to play a bigger role. It's not yet, but it will. And you're starting to see the development of hybrid ships.
And as you can see, the cost could be as low as $2 per kilogram in some regions in the long term. So this shows that the hydrogen from renewables can become competitive even with fossil fuels in the future.
G20 ministers also agreed to the G20 Carries Innovation Action Plan on energy transitions and global environment for sustainable growth. And G20 members also reached a consensus for the first time related to recognizing global challenges, including climate change is urgent, the importance of long-term low-emission strategy, and acknowledging that G20 members have and continue to take concrete and practiced action to address these challenges.
The core idea is very simple. Design a product in a new business model that customizes the value that the consumer is getting based on their willingness to pay and their risk tolerances. The way we have designed the power system in the past has to change. So the power systems of the future, for example, has to have the end consumer in mind. And flexibility, as was mentioned in the IEA's presentation, is going to be a core requirement. So in thinking about the value proposition of your business model, yes, there's renewables, but the power system design and regulators have to be one step ahead of time to think about how we think about the end consumer, the value that we're providing to the end consumer, and how do we incorporate flexibility into that system, and then design the system differently compared to how it was designed previously. Because if we keep the same traditional design, it will create a lot more problems than solve them.